$18.63. Not your savings, not your investment account, just your balance. It's 12:14 a.m. You're lying in bed, and for some reason, you check it again. Nothing changed, not even a little, but you still looked anyway. Because at this stage, money isn't numbers, it's emotion. It's the feeling in your chest when your phone vibrates. It's checking prices before products. It's silently calculating every decision before you make it. You tell yourself, I'm okay. I'm figuring things out. Everyone struggles in their 20s. Maybe they do, but struggle feels different. When you're inside it, survival mode doesn't arrive dramatically. No music, no warning, no movie scene. It slowly moves in. You stop buying what you want and start buying only what you can justify. Something changes without you noticing it. You stop looking at what you want and start looking at what things cost first. You walk into a store already, preparing yourself to say no. Not because you're irresponsible, not because you're weak, because when money feels tight long enough, your brain stops asking, what do I want? And starts asking, what can I survive without? You tell yourself it's temporary. Skip this meal, cancel that plan, buy the cheaper version, save a little here, save a little there. Individually, none of these decisions feel heavy. But over time, tiny sacrifices stack quietly. And one day you realize you haven't only been saving money, you've slowly been shrinking parts of yourself without even noticing. Monday becomes Friday. Friday becomes Monday again. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Days stop feeling different. Weeks disappear faster. You keep telling yourself that things will change after the next paycheck, after the next month, after the next year. But something deep inside starts whispering a terrifying question. What if this isn't a phase? What if this becomes your life? And this is the strange part. Nobody around you looks terrified. Everyone smiles. Everyone posts photos. Everyone acts normal. But beneath the surface, millions of people are carrying invisible pressure every day. Quiet pressure, heavy pressure, the kind that sits on your chest at 2 a.m. while you're staring at the ceiling, wondering how you're supposed to keep doing this forever. Then something small happens, something quiet, not life-changing, not dramatic. You save your first $1,000, maybe two, maybe five, and suddenly something unfamiliar appears. Space, tiny space. For the first time, your mind breathes for a second, not because you're rich, because panic finally loosens its grip around your throat. This is where everything starts changing. Because money was never only money. It was fear. It was stress. It was survival. But now, a dangerous thought enters your mind. What if I can build something bigger? And that question changes everything. Because the moment you stop asking how to survive, you start asking how to grow. You start noticing things you never paid attention to before. Some people aren't working harder than you. They're thinking differently. They see opportunities where you saw limits. They talk about assets while everyone else talks about bills. For the first time, you realize something uncomfortable. Maybe money was never just about effort. Maybe it was also about perspective. So you take your first real risk, small enough to survive if it fails, big enough to scare you a little. Maybe it's an investment. Maybe it's a side project. Maybe it's a skill nobody around you understands. You stare at the screen before pressing enter. Because deep down, you know something. Comfort has never changed anyone. Days pass. Then weeks. Nothing happens. No messages, no growth, no proof that you're moving forward. And this is where most people quietly disappear. Not because they're weak, because silence feels like failure. When you don't understand how long success usually takes, progress becomes invisible before it becomes obvious. But something inside you changed already. You're not chasing quick relief anymore. You're building evidence. Evidence that you can show up when motivation disappears. Evidence that you can continue even when nobody notices. Because discipline starts becoming stronger than emotion. And once that happens, your future stops depending on your mood. Then the tiny wins arrive. Not the kind people post online, quiet wins. The first month you save more than you spend. The first investment that grows. The first payment that no longer scares you. Nobody claps for these moments. But these invisible victories slowly build a different version of you. One day you look back without realizing it. The old version of you would have panicked. The old version of you would have quit. But now, something feels different. Problems still exist. Bills still arrive. Stress still shows up. But fear no longer controls every decision because you stopped trying to escape life and started building it. And this is usually where people ask the question they've been waiting for the whole time. Okay, but when does life actually change? At 100,000? Half a million? 1 million? Because deep down, almost everyone believes there's a number out there waiting to finally make life feel lighter. The truth is, life does change, just not in the way people expect. $500,000 doesn't feel the way social media told you it would. No private jets, no movie scenes, no sudden explosion of happiness. What changes first isn't luxury, it's pressure. You stop feeling like every mistake could destroy you. For the first time in years, your brain starts becoming quieter. This is the first real breath. Not because you suddenly feel rich, but because survival stops sitting in the front seat. You don't wake up thinking about numbers anymore. You don't immediately calculate bills in your head before your feet even touch the floor. For the first time, your mind has a little space left over. And space changes people. Something else changes too. You stop checking prices first. You notice the product before the number attached to it. Not because money stopped mattering, because fear stopped controlling your eyes. It's a strange feeling. Small decisions become normal again. Buying lunch stops feeling like a financial meeting inside your head. Then you notice the biggest shift of all. Money starts buying time. You pay for convenience without guilt. You solve problems faster. You remove small daily friction from your life. And slowly you understand something most people miss. Wealthy people aren't always buying expensive things. Sometimes they're just buying hours back. $1 million feels strange. Because your entire life, you imagined it as the finish line. You imagined freedom, luxury, and a completely different life. Then you get there, and nothing explodes. No music starts playing, no dramatic moment arrives. You wake up as the same person. The only difference is fear is sitting much farther away now. And this surprises people. You still work, you still answer messages, you still have responsibilities, because $1 million doesn't magically remove purpose from your life. It doesn't erase ambition either. What disappears isn't effort. It's desperation. You stop needing every decision to save you, and that changes the way you move through the world. This is what 1 million actually gives you. Options. The option to leave a job you hate. the option to say no without panic, the option to think longer before making decisions. Internet culture sold people sports cars and mansions, but real wealth quietly gives you something much more valuable: the ability to choose your life instead of reacting to it. Around $5 million, money starts changing shape. It stops feeling like protection and starts feeling like peace. Not loud peace, not luxury peace, quiet peace. The kind where your shoulders feel lighter without realizing it, the kind where you stop carrying invisible pressure every minute of the day. You don't notice it immediately, but your body does. Then something unexpected happens. The rooms around you begin changing. Different conversations, different people, different ideas. You hear people discussing building instead of surviving, ownership instead of expenses, possibilities instead of problems. And you realize something uncomfortable: environment quietly shapes reality more than effort ever does. At this level, you stop protecting money first. You start protecting energy. You avoid unnecessary meetings, unnecessary stress, unnecessary noise. Because eventually, you understand a truth most people discover too late. Money can come back. Time can come back. But constantly draining yourself has a cost that numbers can't fully measure. Around $10 million, money becomes strangely quiet. It stops feeling like the goal. It stops feeling like the finish line. Because at some point you realize something unexpected. Money was never the destination. It was the vehicle, the thing carrying you somewhere else. And once you understand that, the relationship starts changing completely. People imagine freedom as doing whatever you want, but real freedom feels different. Real freedom is waking up without pressure pushing on your chest. It's having control over your time, your energy, and your attention. Because the most expensive thing in life was never luxury. It was ownership over your own days. And maybe the real question is, what would your life look like if fear stopped making your decisions? Then one day, you arrive at a number that once felt impossible: $20 million. The younger version of you would have stared at this life in disbelief. Because years ago, you thought a number like this would permanently erase every problem you had ever carried. You thought this was where the story ended. But something feels strange. Life is better, easier, lighter. But you're still you. You still have fears. You still have difficult days. You still have moments of doubt. Because money removes pressure. But it doesn't magically rewrite the human experience. And for the first time, you understand the difference. At $20 million, you realize something strange. The thing you were chasing at zero was never really money. It was relief. It was peace. It was control. It was the ability to breathe without fear sitting beside you. And now I'm curious, what are you actually chasing right now? The money or the life? Do you think it will finally let you feel?